Face me, advance against me, and I will triumph, resisting your attack. Anything that attacks what is solid and unshakable only harms itself with its own violence, so look for a malleable and flexible target to hit with your arrows. Seneca. What the Stoics talk about is the idea of loving what happens, regardless of what happens. Marcus actually says that what you throw on a fire is fuel for the fire. So what you want to cultivate, what you have to practice, you have to repeat it almost like a mantra to yourself, is the practice of love in everything that happens. Not just accepting it, not just tolerating it, but leaning into it and saying, this is for me. I chose this. I wanted it to be this way, and it's the best thing that's ever happened to me. When your computer switches itself off and you lose all your open files without saving, you say, Amor Fati, I love it. When you're stuck in traffic in heavy rain, you say, Amor Fati, I love it. When you're criticized on Twitter, when your boss calls you out, you say, Amor Fati, I love it, I'll be better for it. When you're hungry, you say, I love this, I'm alive, I'm feeling it, I'm going to make the most of it. You say Amor Fati when you lose someone you love. It may seem crazy to say Amor Fati in these kinds of situations, but no amount of anger, no amount of resentment, no amount of sadness will bring them back. So you get what you can out of it. That's what Amor Fati is. You use it as fuel. You become better with it and improve with it. It makes you stronger. You have cancer, you're disabled, you're black or white, you're short or tall, you're rich or poor. Amor Fati. I'm going to make the most of it. I'm not going to let it stop me from acting. I'm going to become better for it having happened. When Thomas Edison's factory burned down, he found his son stunned, in a state of shock. That's how most people are when faced with obstacles. But Edison picked him up and said, go and get your mother and all her friends. They'll never see a fire like this again. That's what Amor Fati is. I'll use that. And he rebuilds the factory. The next day, he told a reporter, this will keep me from getting bored. It's going to be the next act of my life. And that's what he did. He rebuilt. He didn't whine. He didn't complain. He didn't point fingers. He just got on with it and carried on. And that's what we should do with every obstacle we face, whether it's big or small, fair or unfair, chosen or tragic. We say, Amor Fati, love everything, use it as fuel, become better for it having happened. And that's the formula for human greatness. It's the only way to live in the world, because it's the only way to turn the bad things in life into good things. We should always see these mantras of the Stoics as an opportunity to improve and move forward. There's no point in resenting or crying about what happened. It won't bring people, things, or even moments back. Just be grateful and move on. If there's one thing that philosophy can teach any athlete, whether they're an amateur, a college prospect, a top recruiter, or a professional earning millions of dollars, this is what Stoicism is based on. All atheists control one thing, one single thing. They control how they play. You don't control what your teammates do. You don't control what they say about you on Twitter. You control how you play. You don't control the size of your contract. You control how you play. You don't control what they say about you in the stands. You control how you play. You don't control what the referee says. You control how you play. You don't control whether it's snowing or not. You don't control whether it's raining or not. You don't control whether it's 100 degrees. You control how you play. You don't control whether your teammates get hurt. You don't control whether your teammates are fair. You don't control whether the guy in the position in front of you wants to prepare and guide you or not. You control how you play. You don't control whether your opponents cheat. You control how you play. You don't control whether your coach is a bully and yells at you. You control how you play. You don't control whether people doubt you, whether they don't believe in you. You control how you play. You don't control yesterday's game. You control how you play today. You don't control whether you've lost to this team 1,000 times. You control how you play. You don't control whether your team wins. You control how you play. You don't control if you lose. You control how you play. All you control, if that's not clear enough, is how you play right now, in this very moment. If there are those who doubt you, if you're being adored, all you control is how you play, the effort you make, the decisions you take, the principles by which you act. And at the end of the day, it's only on this basis that you can judge yourself. You don't control the outcome. You don't control the facts. You don't control anything other than how you play. But if we can focus on that, said the Stoics, if we can focus exclusively on what we do control, not only will we be happier, but we'll have much more energy and much more to focus on what's in front of us, while everyone else wastes time whining, complaining, worrying, thinking, bragging about what they don't control. If we waste time moaning, complaining, or worrying, we don't just waste time, we make things worse. This can lead to even bigger problems, such as anxiety and fear. It will get worse because it will go even further against what we wanted to achieve. In order not to make these mistakes, the Stoics had a way of not letting these feelings take over their minds. I left it in the first comment to help you. There are 2 words from the ancients that I think we should remember and repeat to ourselves in each and every situation we find ourselves in. If you win the lottery, become rich, are recognized, receive a prize, say to yourself, Memento Mori. Remember that you're going to die. You go through a lot of problems. Someone cheats you, someone betrays you, someone lies to you, someone steals from you, someone takes what you've won, someone gets promoted instead of you. You say to yourself, Memento Mori, remember that I'm going to die. You could leave life right now. Marcus Aurelius said, let that determine what you do, say and think. If you have a fight with your girlfriend or boyfriend, if your parents say something mean or disappoint you, if your neighbor annoys you, if you break your leg, if you blow out your knee, if you fall in love with someone, if you're stressed at work, if your children are sick, you say to yourself, Memento Mori, life is short, I'm going to die. And what that means is that you can't take any of this seriously. You can't let it weigh you down. You can't cling to it. You can't let it fill you with pride either. It might give you the feeling that nothing else is important, but that's not the point. The point is to show you only give importance to what you want to be important, because when you die, nothing but what you give importance to will matter. If you're rich, if you're famous, if you have 1 million followers on Instagram, if you've just been hired, if you've just gotten into Harvard, if you've just been nominated for a Nobel Prize, if you've just received a call from the president, if you've just been promoted, if you've just received a raise, Memento Mori, you're going to die. You can't take any of it with you. That pales into insignificance compared to the idea of eternity. How many people came before you and had these same honors? And where are they now? They're dead, just as you will be. What Marcus actually said is that this practice of Memento Mori, of telling the good and bad things in life that we will die, is a reminder that helps you to accept the good things without arrogance and to let the bad things pass with indifference. Your plane is delayed, you're stressed, tired, hungry, frustrated, and cynical. You say Memento Mori, I'm going to die. What is the meaning of all this? Why am I taking all this so seriously? Why am I letting it get to me? What's 3 hours here or 3 hours there? Remember, you're going to die. What you control is whether you waste time getting upset about it, whether you waste time taking it personally. It doesn't matter if you're the best in the world at what you do or if you're an unpaid intern. If your work is being loved by the critics or criticized by the critics, if you have more opportunities than you know what to do with, if you don't get the one chance that nobody gives you, if you have all the money you need or if you can barely survive, you say Memento Mori. Remember, I'm going to die. None of this matters in view of that. Whether you're putting your child to bed, sitting in your pajamas eating cereal, or in front of a prestigious audience, Memento Mori, you're going to die. Is that how you want to spend your time? Are you wasting it or living it? Are you embracing it or letting it slip out of your hands? Memento Mori. Remember, I'm going to die. You can leave life right now. Let it determine what you do, say and think. Whatever your experience and whatever you're going through, however incredible your life is, however frustrating it is right now, Memento Mori. Remember that you will die. This too will pass. We mustn't forget that. So now that you've understood how to make the best of the worst possible situations, it's time to see how the Stoics made the best of life. They used 12 questions that would change life completely. Click on the video and watch it now.